Been a busy summer already in terms of incomings. Expecting a busy final week, and do you need to get players out before you bring players in?
Yeah, I think I said that in the last press conference. I think it's we have a big squad at the moment. So we played 11v11 yesterday and this morning, and there's a couple of guys on the outside that we're having to swap in and out. So and they're not young guys; they're guys with hundreds of games under their belt. So I think it's only natural that we would probably have to lose a few to bring one or two in. And again, it depends on the circumstance, the timing of the player that we maybe want. And then, yeah, I think the urgency of it all and how important it is to us. So, but I think, yeah, in terms of incomings and outgoings, I would expect us to be still a bit busy between now and the end.
We've been reporting this morning that there's been a bid for Jack Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a player that you like?
He's a player that's done very, very well in the Championship over the last couple of seasons. We've been linked with a number of players over the summer. A lot of them are miles away, and I've never even heard of some of them. And some of them have been one chat in the building, maybe, or watched a few videos, and that's it. And it's also left wing is not a place where we are really light on numbers right now. So Ben Brereton Diaz plays there, Sam Adozie plays there. Yeah, and we have other guys that can operate there. So I wouldn't say it's high on the priority list right now. Jack is a really talented player. His agent Lee is a very, very good friend of mine, and he would know, as I would know, I think, if it was anywhere near to being done or we were really in that race, and at this moment in time, we are not.
Looking ahead to this weekend, as exciting and glamorous as a trip to St James's Park is to open the season, this must be one that's been circled in the diary. First home game at St Mary's, back in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting for us. I think the last time we were there, West Brom, in the playoff semi-final was incredible. It was the best atmosphere I've experienced at St Mary's, and one of the best I've experienced in football. So if we can get anywhere near that feeling and that energy and that atmosphere, then it'll be brilliant. But I think it's a just reward for the supporters, for the patience they showed to us last season, for the support they showed, the connection between them and the team, how much that grew last season. So I hope everyone can enjoy it. But I said the same thing, I enjoyed so much of the performance at Newcastle, especially in the first half an hour, 11v11, and because they're not an easy team to play against. Eddie's done a brilliant job there. But my overriding feeling was frustration and disappointment, and it hurt at losing. So if we can take the level of performance we had and use the anger and frustration we feel at the result from Saturday, then we can all feel much better after this Saturday and make the first game back in the Premier League at home something we remember fondly, because whilst I remember lots of the performance at Newcastle, it won't be with too much fondness because we lost the game.
You talk about remembering the game fondly. I've spoken to a few Saints fans this week. The last time Southampton played Forest at St Mary's, a lot of them see as the lowest ebb in their entire lifetime.
Okay.
Southampton.
No pressure.
It was a single shot on goal.
Okay.
Forest had one and scored from it, and I think that was when the penny dropped that we might be in trouble this season. Is that something you're aware of, that that's sort of the low water mark?
Not until now, so I appreciate that.
But you'll want to give them obviously new memories of playing Forest.
Yeah, I just think, football has you have the privilege of creating memories and moments for so many people that they will remember for forever, for a long time, or they'll remember the day, what they were doing when certain things happened. So the Wembley last season, West Brom at home in the playoffs, there were some games where I'll remember forever during the season. And like even speaking to a couple of my mates at the end of last season after Wembley and family members, and talking about the last 20 years and the journey that I've been on in my career, and how many of their best moments have been based around being there, or being there to celebrate and enjoy and share that moment with me as part of my career. So the players here have an unbelievable opportunity to do the same again this season, to give people moments, the supporters, their families, themselves, us together as a group, to experience brilliant moments. And Saturday, the first game back in the Premier League, which the players deserve after last season, the supporters deserve after last season, the owners deserve for being really brave actually, and giving us an opportunity to come here and do things in a different way. So I hope at the end of the game we deserve to win, and that everyone has a nice feeling about it.
Just a final one from me. You talk about your frustration coming away from Newcastle last weekend, but there must have been an element of satisfaction that the style of football you want to play worked against one of the top teams in the Premier League. You went toe-to-toe with them, you dominated possession, created so many chances. That must show you that the style of football that worked in the Championship last season will work in the Premier League this season.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it gave enough. We just spoke about moments then, but I hope it gave the players enough moments to realise actually they can really do it. I hope it gave the supporters enough moments to realise that we are going to try and be ourselves. No, we're not going to try. We are going to be ourselves, and some days it will work, and some days it will be tough. I think we've learnt a lot from Saturday already about the players and how brave they're willing to be, because there's not many more difficult places than Newcastle away to try and gain some level of control in the game, and all the stats back that up since Eddie's been the manager there, how aggressive they are, how relentless they are. So for us to turn the game into what we did on so many occasions, and even 11 to 10, we 11 against 10, the game just didn't become transitional, and that's down to the players and their willingness to be aggressive with the ball. And I think there's still a lot of gears for them to crunch through with that. And I think we will hopefully continue to get better and better at what we do. And we do it because we think it's the best way for us to win and to be in the Premier League again next season. So the more moments we have where the players feel it on the pitch that they belong and they can play this way, then the better for us. And I know they can do it. I really believe in them, and I think they really believe in us and what we're doing. And I think that will be vital and really important to us achieving anything this season.
Thank you, Rob.
Hi, Russell.
Oh yeah.
There'll be 7,000 safe standing in the northern stand, which is sold out for the season, I'm told.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder what you think that will add, and also if you've got any memories of being on the terraces growing up.
Yeah, I think it will add a lot to us. Just having that whole stand behind the goal, I think it will give us a lot. It'll make a big difference to the atmosphere. I think it's a great idea. I think the players will appreciate it. I think the fans will enjoy it. My son's pestered me about a season ticket in there. He's not going to go there yet. Maybe in another few months we'll see. But yeah, I think it'd be great. I think it'd be really good. And I grew up in Brighton watching the Albion at the Goldson on the North Terrace on the North Stand, trying to get on the news after games when they scored a goal in that end. Stood right at the front. So yeah, I think like I said, hopefully we are there to create some more memories and moments for them, the people standing in it, and the whole crowd. To be honest, they were great with us last season, especially after a fairly difficult and bumpy start. So I hope they now feel a really strong connection to their team. I hope after Saturday they see that we are setting out to be the same team that they were proud of last season, that achieved something really, really brilliant. And yeah, I've got no doubt it'll be a brilliant atmosphere, but we have to bring the right energy and aggression and identity and courage in the team for them to really bounce off. And I think if we have that, it can be really, really powerful.
You might see a couple of new signings in Leslie Ugachukwu and Matthias Fernandes.
You've done better at me than at pronouncing that, better than me, that's for sure.
Well, those two lads obviously have only had a few training sessions.
Yeah.
Guessing.
Well, yeah, that's all they've had. But I really like them both as people. We watched a lot of both of them, and we're really excited to work with them. And I think the club is, and the ownership group and ourselves, everyone's really aligned that we want players who are hungry to be here, desperate to improve, to want to be part of the style that we're playing, to want to. This is their opportunity. It's not a step to something else. They want to be here with us in the Premier League, and of course they'll all have our own ambition and different motivations. But I've really been impressed by them the first few days of training, and I think they're both really exciting signings and young, hungry, and they now need to get themselves into the team, and that's the biggest challenge, because we have a fairly settled team that have played a lot of games together, good relationships, and now they have to force their way into that.
In terms of your opponents this weekend, Nuno's kind of got his feet under the table a bit more now, having kept them up. How do you see them changing this season?
I don't know. I think Nuno has a way of doing things, and it's been very successful. His Wolves team, when I played against them in the Championship, feels like a long time ago now, were one of the best I've seen in at that level for sure. So I think they have incredibly talented players at the top end of the pitch. They have some real individual brilliance and some real athleticism and power, and can hurt teams in an instant, in a moment, and they're really good at what they do. So we have to be really aware of that. But always, we are at home. We want to be ourselves. We want to be the team we want to be. We want the crowd to really be with us. We want the crowd to enjoy the team they're watching, and we want to enjoy the performance. So we've worked on a few things since Saturday we need to improve on. That's the process. Also whilst being aware of Forest and the threat that they pose, and they're difficult to break down. He made them really defensively solid to create chances against last season was tough. So we have to be aware of that and the threat they pose at the top end, and try and bring the performance we want to.
We interviewed Nathan Wood and Taylor Harwood-Bellis yesterday. Taylor obviously making his Premier League debut at St James's Park, a special moment for him and his family. How do you feel he adapted?
I thought he was great. I thought they all were, honestly. I don't think there was a poor performance in our team. We took Yuki off at half time purely because we wanted to be more aggressive and bring a winger on the pitch, but I thought he did great for his first Premier League start, and it will do them the world of good just to get that under their belt and get it out of the way. I remember when I did it, and you just want that first game out of the way to say you've played in a Premier League, and then hopefully Taylor's realised quickly that as long as he's himself and stays himself and does the things we're asking him to do and continues to want to learn and improve and grow, he's going to be in the Premier League for a long, long time. I really believe that, and hopefully it's our job to make sure he's here with us for as long as possible.
Just finally, they said they'd seen a clip of you in the meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
I was wondering, was that an example of what to do? Or?
No, that was definitely an example of what not to do. That was that was basically just give the lads a chance to laugh at me for a few minutes. Don't go trying to find the clip. That's what I'm saying. I can see it in your eyes. Yeah, you don't need to find that clip, but it hurt. It did hurt. I was playing left wing back at the time. That's my excuse.
Cool.
Thank you.
Russell, if I can talk about the new signings of 3 since we sat here a week ago, a bit more. Firstly, in a general terms, you have a detailed way of playing. How long or how hard is it for players to come in and adapt to what you need them to do?
Yeah, it depends on how similarly they played before, where they come from, their background in terms of what their playing history is, sometimes how old they are. But ultimately it's just their willingness to learn and to be open to new ideas and to attack it. So with what I would say is the number 6 position, where Leslie will ultimately compete with Flynn and maybe sometimes play alongside Flynn, and the game has to go through you. So that's not an easy position to learn for us very quickly, but he will he's already been hit with a lot of information and a lot of work, and he's adapting really nicely to it. So we have a game on Wednesday, which will be a brilliant chance for some of them guys to step onto the pitch and play in this way. Mateus is just a really, really talented footballer that can be quite flexible in terms of position, and is used to not the same, but used to playing in a similar role where he was last year on loan. So I think, we'll see how long it takes them to adapt, and it's very different for everyone. But I've got no doubt they both will.
We actually had the Estoril manager on our show on Tuesday night talking about his qualities, and he was raving about him. But also what he does with the ball when he gets it, and how intelligent he is. Have you seen that already?
Really good footballer, really, really good footballer, and that's why we're so keen to bring him here. And when Rasmus rang me to say the deal had been agreed, at one point I thought it was, well, maybe not get him because there was a lot of interest and Sporting weren't overly keen to let him go, and in the end I think dictated to by financial necessity or whatever. So we're really pleased to get him in the build. I think it's a brilliant signing for us, someone watched for a long time, and I think already we've seen in a couple of days the level of detail he has in his game in possession, and also like he's hungry and aggressive without the ball. So exciting one for us and the club, and it's another young player that could be a really brilliant piece of business financially for the club eventually as well.
We haven't really had the chance to talk about Cameron Archer either, because he sort of came on last Saturday, so everyone already thinks he's in. But how much does he help your options in the way you want to play? Not just switching from a 5 to a 4 and playing as part of a 3 maybe, but also where he plays.
Yeah, a lot. I think it gives us flexibility. He's a proper goal scorer, quick, really intelligent with his movement. I think it's just about adapting to us and what we really want. He was so impressive for Middlesbrough a couple of seasons ago. I played against him when we were at Swansea, and he was outstanding. That front three were all outstanding. They all got moves, I think, at the end of that season. And then he's also had the disappointment of last season. And so he's desperate to prove to people he is a Premier League player and can do it and will do it. And he wanted to be here, and he's really hungry to be. And I spoke to a couple of guys at Villa that I know, a couple of players, and they had nothing but good things to say about him. Woody's played with him, Taylor's played with him here, the England team. So, and obviously Ben Brereton Diaz had played for him last year. So everyone spoke so highly of him, and that's all we've seen. He scored a lot of goals in training this week. He looks sharp, now it's just about adapting and being ready for us, and again forcing his way into the team.
And just finally, you have been strongly linked with the final goalkeeper, Bilo, I think you pronounce it. Is there any movement on that, or is that still something you're working on?
Well, Mateus Liss is on his way, or it might be finalised now to go Stepe. So Mateus played last year there, did brilliantly. Family very happy there. He's come back in to see what opportunity he might have here, but I think his wish was always to go back there and play football, and so I'm really happy for him that he's got that, because he's a great guy, really great guy. Just a really good person. So Yanni B was a bit of a sad face today watching his mate go out the door, but I think it's good for him. So we are a goalkeeper short now because Gavin is injured. So senior goalkeepers, we have Joe Lumley and Alex McCarthy. And the goalkeeper you have mentioned is probably one on a long list that we have watched and looked at. And once it is anywhere near close to being done or done, then obviously we'll have a discussion about it. Because I don't know who it will be yet, but we definitely need help in that department.
Thank you.
Cool. We'll move on to the section for 10:30. Start with you, Matthew.
First, I know you've already spoken about it a little bit, but a lot of people were really encouraged by it last weekend. I think Eddie Howe in particular said to George that he's got no worries about you as a team. You said that you wanted to use that to build belief and that it would give the squad belief. Have you seen that this week?
Yeah, I think so. I think the players felt it straight after the game, that they were so frustrated at losing. But so the conversations we had on the way back and at the airport and when we got back here was that they felt good, and they felt really good, and they felt that they enjoyed what they were doing on the pitch, and that it could bring a lot of enjoyment for them, but also a lot of success this season. I think we started out on that path and we've lost to a very, very good team who had one moment and he took it brilliantly, and I think that is the difference in the Premier League. He controlled it and finished it on his left foot, looked so easy, and it wasn't. And he was an outstanding player for them on the day. I think was really fantastic, and they're a well-coached team. As I said, they've done a brilliant job up there, Eddie and his gang, and they'll be in and around the top 6 or 7 again, I've got no doubt. So for us to go and perform the way we did for half an hour in a difficult place to go, I was really proud of the players, but we have to win and we have to get something from that performance, and that will be the biggest difference in trying to make sure we turn that into points. And but if we play like that with the same courage, the same level of intensity, the same care for each other, the aggression we played with I really enjoyed, then I think everyone feels we will be okay. But the challenge is we're going to face different challenges all the time, and we need to live there all the time, and it still wasn't enough for us to win on Saturday, so we have to find even more room to improve, have even more growth in the team, and but I'm excited about what's to come. I'm really, really excited about what's to come, and I believe in this group of players so much, and I believe so much in what we do. So I don't think Saturday really changed how I feel about what we're doing. But I think it's maybe changed if there was any doubt in some of the players' mind and maybe some of the staff, and just to see how, because their experience last time in the Premier League was very different and the way they were doing things, and so hopefully it would give them some belief, or a bit more belief in what we're doing.
It's the first home game since West Brom. I've had a few people ask me what time the team arriving so we can try and welcome them. I imagine it won't be the same scene as we saw last time.
No.
What are you expecting from the atmosphere and from the fans, and what can you give them?
Well, I hope the same excitement, and the same excitement as we got for the West Brom game and so many games last season, especially when it was coming to the closing end of the season. I just hope they turn up, feel proud of the team that is representing them, and that the team is giving them everything. And I think that's all we can ever ask for the support as well. They give us everything they've got, we give them everything we've got, and if we do that, we have a chance to enjoy lots of good moments together.
We had a Nottingham Forest journalist on our podcast last week, and he said that they're quite an open team. They attack freely at the moment, which maybe people might not expect. What are you expecting from them as an opposition? Yeah,
they have talent, really lots of talent in the attacking areas. People who can excel 1v1 and playing with a lot of freedom. Morgan Gibbs-White as well, playing with a lot of freedom, a focal point in the attack to play off in Wood. So, and then they're solid, they're athletic, they're powerful. So they have a lot of have a lot of strings to their bow, I think, and they can mix the game up and they can change it within game. They have a very experienced manager and a good manager, so and they've added and improved their squad in the time they've been in the Premier League. They've added a lot, so every game's going to be tough. And I think we have to just try and focus on ourselves and how we can hurt them whilst being aware of their threats. And I think we have a clear idea of what we need to bring on the pitch. Now it's up to the players to make sure we bring that.
Cole Pierce is still here, hopefully available. Is there any change in his situation?
Nope, not one bit.
I did want to ask about Shea Charles as well, if I could, because it's been linked to Sheffield Wednesday, for example, today. Probably a number of clubs who want to take him on though. Feels like at this stage in his career he's a really good player, but just needs to play some minutes. So,
Yeah, he's joining Sheffield Wednesday on loan, so he's on his way up there now. So that would be a brilliant loan move for him. I think he's at a point. He had his first season in men's football last year, and then to sort of, I think he did great. I think because of how much money we paid for him, there's like a feeling with some people that it wasn't a great season. It was. He played a big part in helping the team achieve promotion in his first season in men's football, which doesn't often happen in a position that's really, really important for the team. So I think he did great. I think he will benefit from going somewhere and trying to play every single game, because otherwise it just stops his development to be on the bench for us and to be a backup player, really. So he's a long-term signing for the club. He helped us a lot last year. He'll now help Sheffield Wednesday a lot with a really good coach that's worked here as well and has had a relationship with the club. So I think it'd be great for Shea. I really do, to go and play as many minutes as he possibly can. There are certain things you can only learn through playing in games that really matter in front of big crowds, and they'll have that at Hillsborough. So I think it'll be really, really good for him and good for us as a club long term, and I think it suits everyone.
Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of respect for Danny Ross, the young manager. How much of a say do you have in where Shea goes in this deal, for example?
No, I think it's just about him playing, and Shea had the final choice. There was more than one club interested in him from the Championship and from other leagues. So the final decision was with Shea, and me and Rasmus spoke about it a lot, and then they spoke to Shea's agent, I spoke to Shea. And Sheffield Wednesday fits for a lot of reasons, and you know, his brother plays there as well, so I think that's a big reason. But also I think he spoke to Danny and was quite excited about the way they're going to try and attack this year and the signings they've made, and so I think it, and also playing in front of a big crowd every week for Shea is important at this, because he did it all last season, but it's the first time he did it, so it's important for him as well, with a level of expectation to deal with that. So yeah, I think it's perfect for him at this stage in his career.
Just very finally for me, if I can, there's a lot of talk coming out of Brazil about bids for Charlie Alcaraz potentially. Is there anything you can tell us about that?
I think it's ongoing. I think there's definitely interest there from a club, and I don't deal with that side of it. You know, Phil and Rasmus and the ownership group will deal with all of that, and then I'll be informed once it gets really close or if it's done, and then I'll speak to Carlos about it. He's trained brilliantly. He's here. Whilst he's here, he'll be available for selection. And then if it's a good fit for the club in terms of the finance involved and a good fit for Carlos, then he will go with everyone's best wishes. And if he doesn't, he'll be here and he'll be our player. So I'm fairly relaxed about it.
That's what I think.
Russell, just to jump back to the Newcastle game, Tyler Dibling, Premier League debut, second Premier League appearance for Sam Ammo. You brought them on when you were chasing the goal to get back into the game. Great show of faith for them and a brilliant moment for them.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it's part of the reason we've been brought here, to try and give young players an opportunity and to develop them into players for the first team. So they've been great in pre-season. It was the reason they deserve to be on the pitch. It's not given to anyone. We were chasing a goal. They're two really creative players with a lot of talent. Yeah, and I thought they did well. I thought they did really well. They were exciting. We just have to make sure we pick the right moments for them, and then we have to make sure that they've earned the right to be on a pitch, which they definitely have at the moment. And we have to make sure that every day we are really demanding them in the right way. So brilliant for Tyler, brilliant for the club. Another Premier League debut through the academy, but it has to be one of many for the club. It can't just be one or two, or you know, we need to make sure it's one of lots for him and for this club, and that'll be down to him and to everyone else in the way that we support him.
Adam Alcaraz obviously not been fit enough to play, but I know he went up to the Newcastle game and I saw him go across to Samadozi before he came on and had a quick word with him. How pleased have you been with what he's been able to do when he's not been able to play, to kind of help the squad?
Yeah, brilliant. I think to be on the pitch was not the only reason we signed Adam. I said that at the time. He's going to really drive things for us with the players in that group and be a voice, which he is already in the meetings, which is brilliant. And it's it's enabling the others to sort of grow a little bit and lead a bit. Taylor, Flynn, all those guys, Jack. So he's been brilliant for the group. He's back on the grass now. Hopefully he'll be involved in the next week or two. But he's not just that. He's not just a player for us. It's about everything that he brings in terms of leadership and football intelligence and belief in the style of play that we have and understanding the club and also knowing what them young guys have been through because he's been there. So, I think it's going to be hugely important for us and he'll be a really, really important signing, hopefully for moments on the pitch as well, but mostly for everything else around that and what he brings.
Final one from me, Ben Reeves, back at Southampton, we saw that last week. You know him from MK Dons. What do you expect him to bring to the 21?
I do, yeah. I love Reeves. He's a guy. Managed him at MK Dons. Just a top character. Came through here. Wants to help the young guys. It was something we spoke about at the end of last season. He came in to watch training a few times and to watch how we're working and to see if I'd improved as a manager since I worked with him because I didn't play him very much. So he was injured a bit, but I love him. He's a great guy. He'll be great for the young lads. The club had good success with Ollie Lancashire performing that role before with the under-21s. I think it's just really important to have someone in there who is a good professional, who can show the guys how to behave and how to train every single day, who is still good enough to help the team on the pitch and the people around him, which he definitely is. And also he's played in the style of play before and he's worked with me and we trust him and he trusts us. And in the same way that Andy Sermon is the 18s assistant coach now, someone who knows the club, understands the club, started here, has been through what the guys in that group have been through. And I think that's so important, that experience, to help them and enable them to grow and learn. So I think a brilliant addition to us. And I've enjoyed watching him training again. It's been nice to reconnect with him, and he'll be really good for that group.
I know you've been asked a lot about transfers today, but word coming out of Germany that the Bella Kotchap deal to Hoffenheim is 100% off.
You just said final question before that one. You just asked me another one. So Armel to Hoffenheim is off at the moment, not because of his medical reasons, because he's fine. And if he comes back here, he'll be training straight away, and he may be in the squad for Wednesday. But I think there are talks ongoing with other clubs right now. Armel is a well-liked player across Europe because of what he brings, especially his physical power, and he's been in the Germany squad at a very young age. So for the right team and the right style, he'll be a brilliant addition. So maybe he leaves, maybe he stays. Right now, as I said, there are talks ongoing with other clubs, and we will see where that gets to over the weekend. And if it's not resolved by the weekend, he'll be back here on Monday and training because he is fine. And that's why I think the reports last week, especially with the deal now falling through, the reports last week were irresponsible, and I said that, and I'm still not very happy about it. Because if we hadn't have had that conversation about Armel last week, and it comes out that he's not going to Hoffenheim, it looks like because of that reason it could derail a young man's career in a big way. So Armel's fine. He's good. He's working. He's just waiting to see where his future is going to lie. As we all are, and we'll know a bit more over the weekend.